This episode is brought to you ad-free thanks to all of our wonderful patrons. You can get tons of exclusive content, including bonus episodes, warm-up audio, and early access to episodes, all while helping us keep the show going by joining at patreon.com/shonenflop.
Welcome to Shonen Flop Chibi, First Impressions mini-episode where we talk about the first chapter of the series we'll be covering in depth next week with our guest, Yotagami. I'm Jordan, and with me today, as usual, is my lovely co-host, David. Say hi, David.
Hi, David.
What series we covering this week, David, and what the fuck was that?
That was a bad introduction to Kyokutou Necromance.
AKA Kyokutou Necromance.
Yep.
Depending on what dialect.
I'm speaking Lady Gaga, because, Joker 2, the Jokering, just came out, so she's definitely on top of mind.
I see, yeah. I hear everybody loves that movie.
If you look up the word Kino in the dictionary, it just actually starts playing a trailer for the movie.
That goes with what I've seen, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard Martin Scorsese's gonna get a tattoo of the name of the movie.
Another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, to go with his B-movie tattoo. The big three, Joker 2, and B-movie.
Big three.
Actually, Joker 2 has a lot in common with B-movie because apparently it's about a court case.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I remember that, B-movie had exactly one joke that was really funny because you weren't expecting there to actually be a funny joke, so it just takes you completely off guard.
And what was that?
All I'll say is, there's, a plane that explodes out of nowhere or something, and it, took me completely off. It's a joke that wouldn't have been funny if there were any other funny jokes in the entire movie. The fact that it was funny was part of what was so funny about it.
I love it. All right, but Jordan, we do actually have to talk about this manga, so can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this is Kyokutou Necromance by Naba Fusai, also known as David. What's this series called?
Kyokutou Necromance.
Oh my god, you did it. Did this guy make Aliens Area?
Yeah, he made Aliens Arena 64,
That's true.
aka Aliens Area, the winner of hardest title to say properly from the floppies in 2022 or 2023. But yeah, I was reading this and unironically was like, this reminds me of Aliens Arena, and then I looked it up and I just said Aliens Arena completely unironically because I keep forgetting that's not the name of that series.
See, that's what's so genius about it. A lot of other series, it's they're physically hard to pronounce, but this one, it's just, you say it and your brain just wants to call it Arena.
It's like Balan Wonder World, but everyone to call it Balan Wonderland because it just rolls off the tongue so much better.
Exactly.
Anyway, yes. So I guess we will see if this is another Greens where it was a not great series. And was it a glow up? Jordan, I've heard a lot of musings from the Discord, and the answer is no, this is not a green situation.
I mean, judging from the first chapter, I don't know, David. Seems pretty kino.
I would say spoiler alert. So why don't we tell people about that first chapter before we start giving our thoughts on it?
Well, first off, this ran from April 22nd, 2024 to September 2nd, 2024. 18 chapters over 2 volumes. Now, let's get into the first chapter plot summary, David.
And congrats on making the U19 club.
Yes, congratulations. For years now, Kaoru Uno has lived with his grandma. He never knew his mom, and his dad died when he was young, giving Kaoru his ring to remember him by. One day, grandma collapses, and Kaoru notices some weird little spiky guys for a second, but thankfully, she's okay when he calls an ambulance. Next day, Kaoru goes to school to find a bunch of kids surrounding Youji Amane, a famous author who's actually there to grab Kaoru at the request of his dead father. Amane makes him skip school and shows him Shiryo, the spiky guys from earlier who are death spirits that kill people and steal their souls and shit. Popcorn David.
Just then, Kaoru's grandma happens to be walking by. Whoa! Kaoru jumps out to make sure she's okay when a ton of little spiky guys spill out of her mouth and turn into a big spiky guy. What is this, some sort of hedgehog? Kaoru punches it with his ring hand and its head rips apart because Kaoru now has a stand. Just then, Kaoru remembers when his dad told him about Shiryu, and I guess he just forgot.
Amane spends this time with Kaoru in his car, just explaining the concept of Shiryo to Kaoru, and then Kaoru has this flashback where his dad's like, don't forget, Shiryo exists.
Yeah.
And it's shit, he literally told you not to forget, and I guess you just forgot.
Yeah, which is also the plot of Dawn to Dawn.
Yeah.
Then Amane shows up and finishes off the Shiryu with his stand Chitari, who eats what's left of it. Amane says he's a necromancer who works at a necromancer agency, and Kaoru's like, dang, I want to be one of those too. And Amane's like, cool, that's sick, dog. That's also the name of this manga. What are the odds?
Yeah, it's called Cool That's Sick Dog.
Yeah. Or no, actually, maybe the cover art could be I want to be the guy.
Huh.
That's an obscure reference.
What about I Want to Save the Kids?
Oh, the even harder sequel.
That's an even more obscure reference.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. But I do want to say, though, Jordan, I want to know right now, what were your first impressions?
Dang, this is a manga. No, the art looks all right.
I feel like it wants to have style, but the artist isn't quite there. I can tell that this is unquestionably inspired by Bleach.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually been a while, I think, since we've read something in this like decade that was very heavily Bleach inspired like this.
Yeah, no, very much Bleachy. Bleach-esque, as I believe it is called.
Yes.
Or maybe even Bleachist, as I believe the Kino scholars refer to it.
Now you're saying Kino.
Yes.
I only say Kino ironically, David.
Well, yeah. But anyway, I will say the grandma's very cute. I was like, oh, she's like an adorable little old lady. That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel like not that much happens in this chapter. Like,
and there's a ton of exposition.
A lot of exposition that kind of doesn't have to be there.
I feel like it would have made more sense if his dad had done the exposition and maybe he was telling him about it when he gave the ring in that flashback and they didn't need this long car ride.
Yeah.
It's just weird, right?
Either that or the dad shouldn't have said anything. It's so stupid that his dad told it to him already.
Yeah, why wasn't it like after his dad died, it was like willed to him?
Yeah, it's very silly that like, no, his dad already told him this. He just forgot and had to have it explained to him again.
He forgot.
Even though his dad said, don't forget.
Yeah, I feel like reading this, the author really wanted this to be a deconstruction of exorcism manga.
Why? Because it's bad?
No, because it feels like it wants to say, oh, I know these tropes are ridiculous. I want to play them in a way that makes it feel like I'm just like rebuilding the idea of what an exorcism manga can mean. Like, there's a sign of it, like the main character gets legitimately very badly hurt fighting something he shouldn't, which is like a sign it's like, oh, there are real consequences, which it then drops. But it's just like this guy was like probably like listening to Rainfall and jazz music while drawing this and being like, oh, yeah, read that first page, man. We're talking about words just to say a cool word. Isn't that dope? I would smoke weed if it wasn't impossible to get in Japan, you know, and the guy makes Shaman King won't give me his dealer.
What was the word he said at the beginning? It was like kind of a big word.
Imagine if it was demure.
Yeah, no.
Shit, that should be my power word. Let me see. Was it melancholy?
I think it was melancholy.
Yeah, he says, I just wanted to say the word melancholy.
That's not that impressive. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not a difficult word.
No, did it make more sense in Japanese?
If only we had the official translator on this, then we could have asked why you picked the word melancholy.
Yeah, what if he just literally says the English word melancholy in Japan?
Oh shit, David Evelyn. We actually could try and ask him why he picked melancholy for that first chapter.
Oh shit.
I'll reach out to him and see if he can get back to us before the main episode recording.
Yeah, okay.
This wants to be all style, no substance, except the style doesn't make up for it, you know?
I feel like it's very difficult to say anything about this chapter. It just feels very, very standard.
Here's the thing, though, Jordan. I have to give it props. It has a reasonable amount of text in these pages.
Well, you're just saying that because of the trauma of 2 on Ice.
Yes, but it is still an art to actually not overflowing your chapters with text, especially in a first chapter when this author clearly was giving a ton of exposition.
I suppose, but also he didn't really say much.
That's true.
Like, yeah, like, I like show don't tell, but like he didn't show that much either.
Yeah, this could have very easily been 30 pages.
I will say the paneling is very cool. The paneling is very well done.
But that's the thing is, like, even its best parts are just okay.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, would you read our 10 chapters of this?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither. And before we get into what we think will happen next, if you've been enjoying the show, we'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the Shonen Flop YouTube. If we hit our goal of 1,500 subs, we're going to do a bonus episode on the Build King epilogue. Right now, we're at about 1,350, so we only need 150 more people to subscribe before we torture ourselves with more Build King content.
No, how? If you want to torture me, listener, you should subscribe, which I know you want to do.
And if you already are subscribed, thank you so much. And so, Jordan, what do you think will happen next?
So I think that Kaoru's mom was his dad's stan. I'm probably just going to call them stans, because they're literally just stans.
I love how Witch Watch literally has a girl who has a genie, which is essentially a stand. And in the next chapter, the genie starts going, or. And they're like, this is a stand, isn't it? And like, yeah, pretty much. So at least the offer was like, I know what I'm parodying.
I think that the main character will, at least at one point, fuse with his stand.
Oh, like in Digimon Tamers.
Yeah, or like, in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that Kaoru will immediately be accepted into the agency, except for like one person who doesn't like him, but then the main character does something cool, and the guy's like, you know what? You're not so bad.
You're in, kid.
How about you, David? What do you think's gonna?
So mine are, I think grandma will not be a badass grandme. I think she will be a normal grandma.
Okay.
I know that's a hot take though these days.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
I think that the main character Shiro will be really stoic looking, but will actually have like a goofy personality because it looks like they actually have defined personalities on like stands.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there won't be a strong romantic plot in it. The title of this manga is just really strange.
I guess necromance might be a pun. Yeah, I suppose so.
Because like, why is it necromance instead of necromancer?
Or necromancy. Yeah, that's fair.
I assume that was like an intentional pun.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just the offer being weird to be weird. I can ask David Evelyn, actually, honestly, why he chose this translation, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a cool guy. All right, and then, Jordan, what's your power word?
Fall. As opposed to stand.
Or autumn, if you're in Europe.
True. Wait, we call it fall here, too. What are you talking about?
No, they call it autumn in Europe.
Well, we also call it autumn here.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And speaking of that joke, my word was tired because I am tired of seeing all these fucking tropes.
Yeah.
But I'm not tired of our Q&A, so let's get into it. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who submits their 6-word summary. You can submit yours on the Shonen Flop Discord, which is open to everyone, and we get priority to those who haven't asked a question before, haven't had a question answered in a long time, or are patrons. Starting up, we have from Jainet, a Squid Game featuring all the mangaka featured here, where the challenge is to write a manga that respects women. Who would win and who would be taken out first? So essentially, out of the Shonen Flop mangaka, who respects women the least?
So, I mean, the obvious answer is School Judgment.
Yeah.
Although they're not women, that's the problem. They're girls.
Or the Zan guy.
Zan, yeah, or Harasagawa in Mirror World.
Oh, that's true.
Love Rush, too. Actually, Love Rush might be it.
So what do you think is the most sexist?
Oh, man. I mean, it's really hard to beat School Judgment is the problem, but I think maybe Love Rush. It's between those two.
You know what? I can agree. What would you say was the mangaka that probably respected women the most? I feel like the author of Candy Flurry actually had a very tasteful female protagonist.
Candy Flurry or Tricks Dedicated to Witches.
Oh, yeah. That guy was also like trans rights.
Yeah, there was one page where I was like, hey, that's weird, but
there was like that underage scene, and then that was like the only time it happened.
That was the only time. Aside from that, yeah, I think that's really up there.
Or, the two and Ice offer also obviously is not very sexist.
Right, or Green, Green, Green.
Or Green, Green, Greens.
But I mean, Candy Flurry is the only one we've mentioned where the main character is literally a girl.
Mama Yu Yu did have the best female character.
Yes, that's true. It also had a character who like immediately fell in love with the main character.
ITEL C also had a female main character?
Yes, ITEL C as well. Yes.
I'm trying to look through this. Marshall Masters also had a very respectful female fight that was not sexualized at all.
Yeah, Marshall Mathers. Yeah.
And that was the best fight of the series, was the two women fighting.
Yeah, I think we should give it to Candy Flurry. I don't know.
I'll give it to Candy Flurry. That's just like a by-the-book female protagonist where, honestly, her gender didn't really matter, which is great.
Yeah.
All right, next up from Spook. If you could visit any historical significant city for a week, which would you choose?
Probably Athens. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty dope. You know, I'm actually going to Tokyo in January, so I'll say Tokyo, because Tokyo is really fucking dope to go to.
God, David. You and your ability to travel places.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Paid for that entire trip with credit card points, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that's the magic of churning, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, sorry, did you say why you go to Athens?
Because I kind of always wanted to go to Greece, especially because my girlfriend is Greek.
And you'll see John Travolta there.
Oh, yeah. I went to Rome, too, so it's like, well, I want to go to the place that Rome ripped off, you know?
Yeah. Rome Zero.
Rome Beta. Yeah.
How fitting.
Yeah.
On that topic, I was actually talking to my friend about Hydrox yesterday.
Oh.
Are you familiar with Hydrox, Jordan?
No.
Okay, so did you know Oreos are actually a ripoff of an older cookie brand?
Oh, those, yeah.
Did you know you can still buy them, but it's like $7 a box? And I'm like, and you have to buy like 5. And I was like, do I want to drop like $35 on Hydrox cookies?
Oh, God.
But apparently they're higher quality than Oreos.
Really?
They use cane sugar. There's no palm oil in them.
Oh, wow.
I would probably spend $7 just buying a box, but it was like, I don't want to commit to buying like a case, you know?
That's one of those things where like people assumed that Hydrox was a ripoff of Oreos. And then it turns out, oh, no, it's the other way around.
It's also, Hydrox is like perhaps the worst possible. I would say 99% of the population would assume that's a cleaning product.
Yeah, that's a terrible name.
It's supposed to represent hydrogen and oxygen. That's how pure it is.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually why it's called hydrox.
That's really dumb. What a terrible name.
It's a terrible name. Hence why that trademark was abandoned. Next, from Resident Warhammer Nerd, when did you graduate from clown college? Joke's on you. They didn't let me in because I was too silly.
I'm actually a super ultra mega senior.
You're at your 12th year.
I'm still there. Yeah.
I love it. From ZZ Digital, what movie have you seen 100 times and can watch 100 more?
For me, This is Spinal Tap. I have seen it so many times, and every single time there's like at least one joke that I noticed for the first time that I hadn't seen before.
I've seen 28 Days Later, I think 15 times.
Really?
Because I had to watch it. I wrote a paper on it in my zombie study class in college.
Zombie study class?
It was a great class. I helped design it. So I would definitely say that. Oh, The Dark Knight. I definitely think I could see a ton more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or I have seen Avengers Endgame probably at least 7 times.
And I have never seen it.
Well, I don't understand that.
Nah, I haven't.
Why?
Avengers 2 turned me off of the series.
It's not good.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of fell off the MCU pretty hard, and now I'll only watch it if I'm watching it with somebody else.
That's what I did with Rachel, is we watched all of the MCU together during COVID.
Well, I'm probably not going to watch all of it, but that's how I saw WandaVision. I watched it with Steph.
Okay.
WandaVision's very good.
Yeah, Agatha is also good. That's airing now.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be terrible. Apparently people like it.
I've been enjoying it. Very good gay witchy vibes.
Oh, that's good.
And then from ZZ Digital, what's your favorite wave of Bionicle?
I can only think of the first wave. So
I like the second wave. I like how they refined the designs and it was much more symmetric. So I liked it. I remember when they had like fighting exoskeletons and they're like, wait, these suck, and they stopped using them. So anyway, I'll say that.
I guess I gotta go first wave because that's the one I know.
And then shout out to Bed Bath & Bionicle,
yeah!
right?
Bed Bath & Bionicle rules! And then it became Bed Bath & Beyblade for like 5 seconds.
And then Bed Bath & Beichi.
Yeah, well, we had one of that was Riley.
Yeah,
we had him on the Beichi episode. Yeah,
crazy.
It's almost like you made that intentionally. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Finally, from Mr. Davey, can you say something nice about all F tier manga? Maybe that'll be for Patreon. We can do that where we'll do all of the F tier. But let's get up the list, Jordan, and then let's pick like 3 of them and say something nice. How's that sound?
I will say, as a sweeping thing, it is generally better to be very bad than average because then you are memorable.
Okay, so ready, Jordan. Say something nice about Bokusan.
Fuck, this is hard. Because Bokusan, I remember being so confusing.
So mine is, I think that the monsters actually had pretty interesting designs for spirits. They weren't crazy, but they could have done a lot worse.
Yeah.
Jordan's really like, fuck, you took the only thing worth saying.
And like the hideaway world where they go into is pretty cool. You know, it's a cool idea to have it being run down and rotting, you know, when a lot of shows go into that area, the world is like kind of pristine, but not here.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, can you say something nice about SWAT?
Shit.
It's better than Zon.
It's better than Zon. Shit. I like the reference to the Met from Mega Man, maybe. I think the main character's lackey is he's kind of funny.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think the art is competent, which is a big boon from Zon's art.
Yeah.
It's also like the main characters actually do actively talk about wanting to improve themselves as people, which is actually kind of rare to see.
Yeah.
And then finally, Jordan, is there an F tier manga that comes to mind that you feel like you could say something nice about?
Ooh, let me look at
Can you say something nice about Metallica Metallica?
Metallica's a cool band.
Can you say something about the manga?
The idea of different rocks having different
Fuck, I was gonna say that.
Having different properties is theoretically potentially cool.
Even though I love how T. Wolfwood said all the factually wrong things they said. Holy shit, I had 2 bullet points on my positive list for this manga.
It's ripping off a good manga.
Yeah, if you're to blatantly steal the plot of a manga, Hunter x Hunter is a pretty good one to pick.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe we'll do that as a mystery box. Is we'll have to go through all the F tier and say something nice. So that might be a full piece of content.
Yeah.
Is to say something nice and then alternate something bad about one of the A or S tier manga.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll put that on the schedule after we finish our long form. All right, Jordan, thank you so much for all of your hard work on the show and being a great co-host.
Thank you, David, for all the work that you do on the podcast.
Props to Shannon for the awesome cover art. Find her online at illuminyatea. Thank you, Dylan, for assistance with editing. You can find his podcast, Anime Out of Context, at animeoutofcontext.com. Thanks to Tucker and Maxie B for assistance with pronunciation, translation, other miscellaneous research. Find us on Twitter at Shonen Flopcast, Tumblr Shonen-Flop, and our website shonenflop.com. We're also on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcast. If you want more weekly David and Jordan content, you can find us every Friday on the Chainsaw Minute, where we talk about the latest chapter of Chainsaw Man. Find it at csm.libsyn.com or wherever else you listen to Shonen Flop. Come join the Discord as we talked about before. It's open to everyone, patron or not. Hang out with us, talk about anime, games, whatever else is on your mind. We have a manga book club and movie nights. We've been going through some great zombie movies, and they are talking about Black Cat in the book club. Find a link to it in the show notes or on our site, shonenflop.com. And if you've been enjoying the podcast and want to help us keep going, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/shonenflop. Along with that warm and fuzzy feeling of helping us out, you also get access to monthly episodes, including Shonen Drop, where Jordan and I look back at the previous month's episode and open the mystery box. Jordan, what was our bonus episode this month, and what did we talk about in the mystery box?
Well, David, this month I finally made you read Get a Robo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our mystery box content, David, we looked at the pilot for a little manga called Cool Shock BT.
We sure did.
We sure did.
And if that's not enough, other perks including picking a manga for us to cover on a main episode, episodes up to a week in advance, and behind-the-scenes content like warm-up audio or recording notes. And, of course, having your name featured in the show. Let's do that right now. Starting with our dolphin dads, we have Glornak, I Smell Your Breath, It Makes Me Cry, and Rachel, my wonderful wife, she bought me some cake on Thursday because she knew I deserved some. Moving on down to the Ravioli tier, where Ravioli just went on a big walk, and she made a ton of best friends.
Aww.
We went hiking. We have Chris, Eva, Jeanette Davis, Lady T, Matt, Scarlett T, Tiffany, and Trevor. Moving on down to King of the Forest, we have 090Z, Bandit Stoof,
My girlfriend.
Brad, Chad, Ivan, Jacob, Justin, Kirby, Marty, Noah, Riley, Sarah, T. Wolfwood, and Tommy Boy. Moving on down to the Galactic Ball Federation officers, we have a mid-sized sedan, Ages, Andrew, Andes, Aura, Biza, Blamumu, Brandon M, Cole, David, Dennis, Don't Dox Me Datterson, Drago, Drew, Dylan, Nigel, Fax, Flash Cardman, Funky Green Overdrive, Generic Man, Hey Randall, Ian McConnell, Inert Snake, Jojo Jory, Keanu, Lay, Manly P. Hall, Marabara, Matt, Mike, Obscure Reference, you already got one in this episode, Resident Warhammer Nerd, Salvia, Scott Fischler, Sybil, Silly Rookie, Simping for Senpai Ash, Staghorn, Tapier Clip, Tucker Rotley, Wright, and ZZ Digital, and a big thank you to our Beast Children as well.
Thank you. I love all of you. You're all my children.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Jordan, anything else you want to toss in?
Check out Mission Ignition, I guess.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in next Monday for our full episode featuring Yatako.
This has been Jordan.
This has been David.
And you've been listening to Shonen Flop. David, say it.
Keep on flopping floppers.
Bye.